Welcome everybody back to Sid's Simple DIY. Well, today what we're going to do is go over a project on how to fix a water well that is waterlogged. We're going to just need this basic equipment: an air compressor, a hose, an extension cord, and then we're going to need the air chuck. So we'll go ahead and get set up now and we'll show you how to do this. So we're over here at our well. What we did, first thing we did is we went inside and turned the breaker off. And then on our tank here, we have a Schrader valve that's just like you have on your car. So it allows you to add air to the tank. Let's go ahead and get the first thing that we have to do is we have our garden hose attached right here. We're going to turn this valve here, this red handle valve, and that's going to turn off the water going to the house. Do that now, 1 second. Then we're going to run our water tank or our water garden hose all the way to the street so we have some way to run the water. So hold on a second. So we got our Schrader valve tool, we got our air compressor. We're going to go ahead and hook it up to our tank. So we're going to go ahead and open up our water valve. We're going to run it, and the secret to this is you're going to run it and keep going until you get all the water out as best as possible. And then what we're going to do is hook up the air compressor to it. We're going to add air to the tank. We're going to add air to the tank until the tank goes from a gargling sound to a hissing sound like shh, and then we'll move on from there. So hold on, I'll get set up. Take a while. Got a 100-gallon tank. Listening to the tank with my ear to try to hear the noise and see if it's gargling still or hissing. During this time, we have the pump turned off because we don't want to build water into the tank. We'll try to pump the air to push the water out because the tank is waterlogged. Listen to it, you can hear the tank, you can hear it just having the hard whistle sound. I know it's kind of loud over the compressor. Get a little closer. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn off our compressor, and then we're going to turn on our pump. We're going to let it fill with water, and then what we're going to do is add 20 pounds of PSI of air to wherever the pump turns off. And we'll be doing that by looking at the valve. And turn our water pump back on. We're going to let it build pressure. We still have our valve to the house turned off. We're just going to let it run. And whatever the gauge stops at on the pump, we're going to add an additional 20 pounds of air to that gauge. our valve off. We got our garden hose turned off. That's just used for draining the line while we're doing the pressure. Alright. It's a big tank, about 100 gallons, so it takes a while for it to fill. Okay, so now we got our Schrader valve tool, or air chuck, and we see where our pressure stopped. It looks like it stopped at 50, so we're going to go ahead and add about 20 pounds of air to that, get it to about 70. At 55. 58. 60. I'll go to like 65, 70. 63. 65. 68. It's about good, right about there. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and turn off our air compressor because we don't need that any longer. And the thing about this tank is it doesn't have a bladder. Some tanks have bladders in them and you don't have to mess with the air pressure. They're set at the factory and I believe they're good for about 20 years. You know, just check your manufacturer's specifications. So now we added the air. We're going to go ahead and open up the red valve. We're going to let the water flow back to the house. And the pump should kick on as the pressure drops. It should get back. Once the pressure gets a point, the pump should kick on and bring the pressure back up. So here we go. May not be no water running. Let's take a look here. I'm going to open this sink. Mimicking some water running. I live here in Louisiana in the south. This well is about 25 feet deep. It's a shallow well pump. Well, I think the drawdown is about 25 feet. The well guy told me it's about 800 feet deep, the actual pipe itself, the bore pipe. I mean, this well has a lot of pressure. I mean, we're at like about 40. And then what it is, the pressure switch, you let the thing come on out. I think it was around 45, 35, something like that. A lot of water. My old tank was like a 40 gallon, so I just upgraded this new tank. I think it's 120 gallons actually. So I mean, usually this happens in seconds, so I'm not used to it taking this long for the pump to come back on. Come on. There it goes. Turn off the water. It should go back up to about where it was at before, and it should cut off. So we'll give it a minute. See if I can zoom y'all in on that gauge. Try to do this, guys, without getting y'all too nauseous. 1 second. Our valve to the going into the house. Sorry about that, guys. I zoomed in a little bit. It's turned on, so we got the water flowing back. We got our valve to bleed it. Our garden hose turned off. Our pressure slowly going up. And not all wells will have this manual pitcher pump. I added this separately. I could do a video on that if anybody's interested. Tell you what, when the power goes out and you ain't got no water, it's a real headache. Also tell you, look, if you need a cheap privacy fence, plant this bamboo. This stuff started off with a couple pieces and it's enormous. And it's a monster. It's like 8 feet thick. The pump should be coming up to pressure. And so many people will call a well septic person to come out if you're not familiar with the job. Now, if you, like I said, if you have a bladder tank, you shouldn't have to do this. Sometimes they have a valve that will actually go in where the Schrader valve is. I'll zoom in so y'all can see that. These are Schrader valves, just like you have on the car tire. So sometimes they have it where you can do it automatically, but those things leak all the time. This is the easiest way to set it up, the cheapest. This is a Pentair pump. A lot of people use, it's made by the same people that used to make Stay Right, the best pumps you can buy. You can get those ones from the big box stores. I had one of the things that lasted like 3 months. I put it in the middle of December, burned up. This one's been here for at least 5 years, and I bought it secondhand. They're good quality pumps. My wiring is not the greatest, and we'll be doing some videos in the future on how to improve our wiring, put a disconnect in. I'm going to redo the plumbing on our well pitcher pump, and a couple small improvements. So, I mean, we're almost there on our pressure. And once it'll get there, then the pump will cut off. All right, guys, if y'all have any questions, please don't leave them in the comments. If you have anything I didn't cover or specific, I'm trying to, new to this YouTube thing, I'm trying to do what I can to make quality videos. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you, and have a great day. Finish the video, the pump kicked off, so we can go ahead and look at our pressure. Here we are sitting about 51. So, here we go. The pump is back to pressure. All right, have a great day.